California Dreamin', where we do dream interpretations and talk about current dreams. If you have any dreams, leave them in the comment section, and hopefully some people can help me with putting some interpretations on them. Make sure if you're new here that you subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. So how do you see angels in dreams? I've already given one example in my first uh, video on angels and dreams, and I'm going to give a second one. In another dream I had, the dream was not about an angel. It was a dream that God was giving me about a particular church setting I was in. It was in a group I was in, and He was explaining to me a lot of things going on with people in that group and how to view this group and how I was supposed to interact with them, and also just like some general prophetic words for the people in that group. In where they were going and what kind of callings had been on their lives. And so all these things were being revealed and some of their struggles and things in this dream. But in the middle of it, most of this dream was taking place in or around a church building. I stopped in the church building and I saw this guy, and I knew in my heart his name was Gabe. And I started following him. I was just so interested in what he was doing. So I was just walking behind him, like 2 or 3 feet behind him. And I was watching him, and he was going around to the screens that were set up, and the church service was about to start. People hadn't come in yet, and he was checking all of like the projector screens and things around the building and making sure they were ready. And he seemed like a tech guy. And I got the feeling that when the screens weren't being used for worship or the slides for the pastor, that in between he got to project things up there, like basically ads for God kind of thing, or things that people needed to know, or and he had full control over these screens, but they looked blank to me. And I was following him, and I was so curious what he was going to say to different people and what he was going to put on these screens. And he turns around and he was kind of annoyed with me. He goes, "Why are you following me? This isn't what you're supposed to be doing." And I was like, "But I'm so interested." And then I went on with the rest of the dream, and I woke up and I knew instantly what it was. I was like, "Gabe, that's the name like of an angel. That's like Gabriel." I don't think it was Gabriel the angel. I think it was that type of angel. I think it was a messenger angel, and I was understanding that by the name Gabe. I have had other dreams with now since then with other times that I've run into people named Gabe. Sometimes in real life they're actually named Gabe, and I'll meet them in a dream, but they're functioning in that way of bringing a message. And in this dream, I woke up just knowing that he was a messenger angel. And it's kind of interesting because we've had times in our church services where somebody's like, "Yeah, before you guys put anything on the screen, I was just looking at it, and like I like almost physically saw a word up there that God was speaking to my heart." And I'm like, that's very interesting, because I think sometimes the angels are assigned to give us messages, to put things on the screens in the church or do whatever. And I was like, oh, from that dream I had, that's the same thing that was happening. That angel was using the time, because that's somewhere people would be focusing at some point, and that's where we have a lot of interaction for the message and things happening in the physical in the church service. And it just seemed like the angels were able to use that same space at other times, if we were really looking and paying attention, or if it was the message for us, then it would be highlighted and we'd be able to see it. So I find that interesting. And this was just something I wanted to share about recognizing angels in our dream, because I think it is subtle. I think it's like that Hebrews verse where in the daytime we're to entertain strangers, because at times we end up entertaining angels unaware. And I think our dreams are a lot the same way. The angels, a lot of times that I interact with in dreams that are bringing messages, are in plain clothes. They're not big, shiny creatures with wings or anything like that. They look like people, and sometimes I say they look like really fancy people, like the ones that you see in those picture frames when you first buy them before you put your family's kind of messed up photo, or your silly photo or whatever. The perfect people, those perfect people in that picture frame when you buy it. That's kind of how I say they look. They have like very, very normal, perfect features. Um, and at times, the messenger angels come dressed like mailmen or package delivery or things like that with a message. And it's just a real simple message, usually one sentence or something. But I can recognize when I wake up immediately, oh yeah, I interacted with a mailman. Usually in my dreams, that's some sort of angelic messenger. So I thought I'd just share that, so that way you guys can start recognizing angels in your dreams.